Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20. Breaks free of the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40 midfield. 40 30 to the coast. 20 15 Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Woo, let me open it up a little. Woo! Thanks for tuning in. Listen, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Like that page as well. And not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll also be following the show's page, Shawn and Maya in the morning. What a wonderful thing. Now, if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real. Listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, okay? And also click the notification button. That's the bell right next to it. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. You get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, wait, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Man, what you probably miss? Listen, we have a mobile app. So go wherever you get your apps from. It doesn't matter. I don't really care whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Wards, Woolworth, Venture, wherever you get them from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles. Thanks to my man Clarence, Counsel the Third. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching us on a Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Come on, man. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Do us a solid. Yeah? Do this. How about this? You go to Sports Zone Chicago, right? You download it. Just put it right next to Netflix, Hulu, Max, Prime, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars, Showtime, even though Billions is over. The Shy is over. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Just watch it. Just download it. Get me in my feelings. I missed the Shy. Man, Billions was my show, boy. If you didn't watch Billions, woo-wee. I liked it. I liked it a lot. But I digress. Just download it. Put it right smack dab in the middle of all of them. And then, you know what? If you have a second or third Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download it to all of them. Of your Roku televisions in the house. You know, I know it might be in the kids' room where, you know, you're probably not going to watch it because they're watching Barney or Teletubbies or whatever the hell kids watch nowadays. I don't even know. All right. I don't have any kids that I know of. So well, knock on wood, we'll see. But anyway, just download it in that room as well. We'd appreciate it. All right. Cool. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can do this at Sports Zone Shy, that's CHI, at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online, you want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. Want to know what I did? Here's what I did. I made a nice and easy one handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. I know, I'm a 52-year-old TikToker. I know. Don't make fun of me. Put on one handle at the Shawn Sierra. You see at the bottom of the screen. At the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IG and you do it just for the gram, we'll just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Whew, man, we have a phenomenal show, but we need you to get interactive with us today. Listen, we're going to get it started in a moment. My man Samo's going to join us. I can't wait to introduce my man Samo. I'm fired up to talk. We got a lot of shit to talk, boy. So I better hurry the hell up. Shut your ass up, Shawn, and let's get to it. All right, here's what we're going to do. At 9:30, actually 9:40. No, it's 10 o'clock. What am I doing? I don't even know what the hell's going on my own show. At 10 o'clock, David Kenyon from Bleacher Report is going to come on. We have a lot to talk about the college football playoffs. What the hell's going on? Undefeated conference champ is booted, is on the outside looking in. What? We're going to talk about it. David Kenyon. You know him. He's been rocking with us for years. Yes, David Kenyon's going to call in and join the show on that. And then about 10:40, to close the show, our man Fred Pfeiffer. Look at you see me rocking my Bull stuff. Only the Bulls. Only the Bulls. The Bulls are white hot with a 2-game winning streak. White hot with a 2-game winning streak. And Fred Pfeiffer from the Big Red Bus and Chicago. He's going to join us. We're going to talk Bulls basketball. I am fired up. But listen, we have a phenomenal show, but I need you to get interactive. So here's what I need you to do. If you're watching, whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, do us a favor, leave a question or comment on that particular platform. It'll come up here on the thread. I'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that's what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show. And that's you. Questions, comments, smart ass remarks. Bring them all, baby, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it, just bring it. I'm going to bring him in, my man. I'm excited to have him. We have a lot to talk about. My man, Big Samo. Samo, what's up, Papa?
Yo, what's going on, bro?
Man, I am fired the freak up.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
and, you know, this is after, you know what, today, my workout sucked ass. Let me just tell you this. I don't even know why I went. I looked at it last night and I got mad instead of just not going. I had burpees. I had 125 burpees today.
Ooh, yeah,
It was,
got it in.
man, so it broke it up in it was 50, 20, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. I didn't do 50. I did a little more than the beginners, which was half. I ended up doing 120, 150 burpees. But after each set, I had to do 1,000 meters on the bicycle. Man, I hate burpees.
Yeah.
I hate burpees. Whoever created burpees or mama's a hoe, because I hate they're the worst thing ever made. They're stupid.
Dude,
And I did 125 of them bad boys in a long, man, 125 at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Woo. Yeah, you got it in, man. You burned a lot of calories doing those burpees.
I'm over 800 this morning, Papa. Over 800.
Woo.
You know, I got my Apple Watch and shit. You know, I'm all hooty snooty and.
Hey, that's most people do in a day. So hey, you winning right now, man. You're gonna live longer. You'll appreciate it later. I know they hurt though, baby.
Man, that was horrible. Horrible. Let's say what's up to people in the chat. Cornelius Squalls, what up? He's in the house. My man's in early every day. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, Cornelius? And don't start with me. You and Mashawn. Mashawn already texted me. He's like burpee mania. I was about to, man, I don't reach to my phone and punched him. My man. Levette Lee, good morning, Ma. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. My man Junior, he's in the house. Papa, what's up, dude? That's what I'm talking about. Yay, yay. Monica Lara, what's up, Mija? How are you? Love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Here he is. Here he is, my man Michelle Walls. It is House Music Monday, baby. Woo, Charlie, we got to get back to play. You know what? We got to pay the licensing fee and stuff because we used to go out on. We got to the House Music Monday because we coming out of a break, coming in a break, or coming out of a break, I should say. We'd always have a house music track coming in because it's Monday, man. No one wants to go to work, but you know what? If you got a house music go while you're bobbing your head, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, you get
used
into
to
the
hold me, you used to feel me, you used to touch me. I was like, the Rabbit Rosario.
Like, okay.
Yeah, you know, wake
Gotta
you up,
bring it back. You gotta
man,
bring that back.
Get you going in the morning for the week. That's the way to start off your Monday. You know what I'm saying? That's the way to start off your Monday. So listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. A lot more of the usual suspects will be checking in as the show goes on. But man, I gave you the lineup already, so let's get it started because we have a lot of stuff to talk about, baby. So, guys, you know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
First top of the morning topic. Let's see where we go. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? I don't know where we're going to go. You know, I got a good way to start. How about Saturday? Why? Because the Bulls. Yes, only the Bulls. That's what I'm talking about, baby. The Bulls. The Bulls beat the New Orleans Pelicans in Zion 124-118 in overtime. All right. Kobe White led the way with 31 points, 9 boards, 6 dimes. DeMar DeRozan, Compton's finest, 24 points, 10 boards. P. Will in the Mickey Ficky house with 14 points. Torrey Craig and I would assume each contributed 15. Let me tell you, man, without Zach and DeMar, I know DeMar played, but they seem to be moving the ball a little better without both of those guys because he said Zach was out with I think he stubbed his toe. So he said, my words, I can't play. Okay, good, great. Sit out. I'll wait and trade you. Man, talk to me about what you see in this long, extended 2-game winning streak that the Bulls have. They've been looking good, dog.
They've been looking real good, man. They buying in, man. I think that boy Kobe was on fire. The ball is moving. I don't know what Billy Donovan has said to this team, but he's gotten these guys to buy into whatever he's selling. He had another game with 32 assists, and I feel like they're buying in because 10 of the first buckets, 8 assists there were 8 assists on 10 of those on those first 10 buckets. So that tells me that those guys bought in from the previous game, and they came in and said, you know what, we're going to continue with what we did last game, and it worked out. And I feel like he even got DeMar to buy in. DeMar had 10 assists.
Yeah, he did.
Those 24 points, man, and that's huge. If you get DeMar out there creating for other guys, you get 5 guys in double figures, and Vooch isn't one of those guys. We know Vooch is going to have his double-doubles throughout the year. He didn't have a great game, but guess what? We were still able to pull this off, and that's because all the guys on the team were contributing around him. I'm just happy really to see the younger guys on the team, man, the guys that we drafted finally show up, like in Kobe White, in Pat Will, in Ayo Dosunmu. Those guys, having those guys to finally, be consistent and step up and be real contributors to this team. I think that's extremely important, man. And we're finally starting to see it with the ball moving around. I think it just solidifies the fact that, Zach has to go. And we
you said it, though, bro. You said it. The ball's moving. Mm-hmm. It ain't stagnant. It's not stagnant. The offense is not stagnant. People are moving. People are coming off screens. People are catching and shooting. All right, they're rolling to the basket. You're like, whoa, well, where the hell has this been for the last 2 years?
Yep.
Where the hell has this been? But you know what? Zach is ball dominant. DeMar's ball dominant. All right, you get it to them. It's like, okay, great. And and what I really like to see from DeMar is you talked about, he had 10 dimes on Saturday. 10 with his 24 points. So, man, you give me 20-plus points and 6 to 10 assists from DeMar? Come on, man. That's a recipe for success. Yes, so my question to you then is, before we move on, how long do you think they can sustain this? Or do you think they're going to say, hey, Zach, take time with your stubbed toe?
Yeah, you got to it has to be sustainable, man. We have to maintain, the chemistry that these guys have, because like I said, it's helping the entire team. It's not just one player that's looking good out there. The entire team is looking good. And then they're picking each other up because, like I said, Bush didn't have a good game. Caruso didn't have a great game. But everyone else, you get Tony Craig with 15 points. And you get who else came off the bench? Ayo with 15 points.
15 as well, yeah.
Off the bench. You get 30 points off the bench from those 2 guys. And plus, I think Drummond had like 7 points off the bench and 8 boards. Like, you get guys coming into the game who are able to play in this flow of the offense. So, man, you got to keep this going. It has to be sustainable. If Levine does come back and he's not bought in and we don't see the ball moving and he's stopped, then hey, he's gonna have to have another toe injury. We're gonna have to sit him down for a while. Man.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Samuel, you get mad love from the chat, my man. You see Levette Lee saying what's up, Samuel. Michelle Walls in the Mickey Ficky house. My man Junior in the Mickey Ficky house. Cornelius Qualls in the Mickey Ficky. Man, Samuel got crazy love this morning. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I love it. I love it. Let's go. Where else do we go? Which way do we go?
Black Hawk.
We'll bring it down a little bit. The Blackhawks. Yeah, great job. Blackhawks yesterday, they fall to the Minnesota Wild yesterday. Apparently the Blackhawks weren't wilding out enough or something. I don't know, but they fall to the Minnesota Wild 4-1. Mrazek stopped 30 of 34 shots. Tyler Radish with the only goal, holding lamp lighter. Say that 5 times really fast. For the Blackhawks, he scored his 4th goal of the season. Connor Bedard had his 9th helper of the season, and Tyler Johnson had his 3rd helper of the season. I mean, it happens. I mean, we understand they're rebuilding. We get it. Okay, but some good news though. Some good news, man. How about this? Them there apples for the month of November. Connor Bedard, Rookie of the Month. How about, man? That's what I'm talking about. NHL Rookie of the Month. There you go, baby. All right. He had 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points overall. Connor Bedard looking like the superstar we are all hoping that he would be.
I think that's what's most important, man. Nobody expected this team to be a winning team this year, but we did expect them to be a little bit more competitive than what they've been. But hey, it is what it is. And the most important thing is that kid continues to develop, man. And
bingo.
He's showing a lot of maturity, if you think about it, man. Because a young kid on a losing team could easily, just act a fool. And we've seen it in other leagues happen, And it's just good to see that he's not only very mature, but he's also very competitive. He continues to compete throughout the game. I think he assisted on that goal from Radish at the end of the game, and that was in the 3rd quarter when the game was pretty much over because they were down 4-0 when they did get that goal. Finally scored on the power play. Man, our struggles and the bad is, I think we're the lowest scoring team in the league right now after this last game.
Wow.
3 straight losses, outscored 12-3. It's pretty bad, but it could always turn around at any point in time. I'm glad to see that the young bull is still fighting though, and Connor Bedard. That's all I can say.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad to see that as well. I think the kid's going to be a freaking stud. The kid is going to be a freaking stud. You've seen it. We've already seen glimpses of it. The kid is not shy. Man, first game he wasn't shy. You know what I mean? From jump. And he's playing against he had center face off with his childhood hero. Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And this guy is he's going to be everything that we'd hoped for and more. Everything we had hoped for and more. And I can't wait. I can't wait for it to happen. I can't wait to see. Oh shoot. What did I do? I can't wait to see how it progresses. You know what I mean? Because this kid is he's like the Pied Piper. Like, everyone loves playing with this kid. Everyone loves he's got a great personality. You talked about his demeanor, and that's a lot for an 18-year-old kid to carry a franchise. It's a lot. And you know what? He's doing it. He's doing it for now. So, man, we'll see how well it plays out. But it's not an easy task. Not an easy task for him, but I'm excited. Can't wait to look for to watch the season play out and him continue to just to shine, man. This kid it's just so fun watching him shine, and it's similar to same thing we did with Kane, years ago. All right, this kid Kane was the same thing, the number 1 overall pick, and he literally grew up before our eyes, and same thing's going to happen with this young man. But keeping it moving. I like this kind of party, baby. Man, Sha'Carri Wilson. Shut the front door. Sha'Carri Wilson, the world's fastest woman, inks a $20 million deal with Nike. Oh, recently, was it in Jamaica? No. She just ran the one. She just had ran the fastest time and became the world's fastest woman in a 100-meter dash. And there's a lot of talk about her. And man, Nike said, "Nope, we got you, $20 million deal for Sha'Carri Carter." I'm happy as hell for that sister, man, because make that money. All right, see Nike pouring in a lot of money into her. Okay, so I hope to see a lot more Sha'Carri Richardson campaigns. All right, in billboards and commercials and ads. I'd love to see it because representation is everything. You have for those people who have daughters. All right, you need that. They need to see role models like that. They need to, and I think that, and then making money like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she's definitely earned it, man, because she, like you said, she's one of the fastest in the world. Sad to say, all the adversity she faced, losing her mother and then having to go through the thing with the marijuana usage and being kicked off team and all that craziness that she went through, man. But the comeback story is really what's important, man. The way that she came back, her response to all of that adversity, and just shows you the type of athlete that she is, man. And she's extremely competitive, man. I'm happy for her. Like you said, man, representation is everything. And I think she represents us well, man. That resilience that she's shown is important. And I think she's a great story to be told, man. And I'm extremely happy for her, man. And like I say, like you said, excuse me, I want her to keep getting the bag, man. It's the first 20 million. I want someone else to, offer her a bag, man, because the girl is a nice story, man. And, I'm cheering for her, man. I'm always cheering for her.
Yeah, me too. And then I want someone else to say, "Hey, when I saw her do it, I'm going to do it," and have like her. And, I mean, I don't know if she actually realizes how influential she is, because sometimes you don't realize that you're a trailblazer when you're trailblazing. You're just doing what you're doing, and you don't realize it until after she realizes. I hope her friends tell her. I hope her family, her family and loved ones tell her, like, you are a historical figure. This is crazy money. Women track athletes, not even basketball, track athletes don't make this kind of money. And you've already and you forced into that $20 million, $20 million range, 8 figures, man. I mean, it'd be fine. Okay, you gave her a $5 million contract. You're like, okay, great, that's nice. No, Nike stepped to the plate. All right, and she showed a lot of young Black and brown women, even women, just period, like, you can do it. You can do it, and there's a market. You continue to work and you continue to strive to be the best that there is. Man, so my hat's off to her for blazing the trail. Okay, like I said, whether she realizes it or not, and she might not, because she's young, dude. She's really, really young. I mean, think about you. I don't know if she has that Connor Bedard mentality. You know what I mean? I don't, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying at 21, like I couldn't imagine being I was just in college playing football. That was it. This girl's breaking world records and fastest woman on the planet. It's a big. So hats off to her, and continued success to that young lady, because Lord knows she's earned it.
Absolutely.
Well, we have a little bit of a downer. The White Sox, according to John Morosi, Dylan C sweepstakes are in full swing. There are at least at least three teams. The Dodgers, the Braves, and the Orioles are among others interested in Dylan Cease. There's going to be a heck of a lot more. And the question is, what are we going to get in return? Now, we don't have Rick Hahn anymore. Rick Hahn was fleecing people. The last time we did this, we got Chris Sale. He got Lucas Giolito. He got the top prospect in all of minor league baseball, which was Yoan Moncada. Now then the Adam Eaton deal. He held those dudes up at gunpoint. What is Chris Getz going to be able to get? Give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on this. Are you sad to see him go, or you say, hey, you know what? We're not going to win here anytime soon. Let's get as much as we can, like we did for Chris Sale.
Not going to win anytime soon. You might as well get rid of the guy, man. But you should get a haul back for this dude, man. Because this dude, what do they say? The best ability is availability. And this guy's available every 5 days. You can count on him to be prepared to start, man. And I don't know if you can say that about most pitchers in the major leagues right now. But this dude, he's been consistent and he's been healthy. That's the most you can ask for a guy. Hey, I think that's why you take your time and you make sure you're getting the best deal that you can for this dude because he is a valuable piece to any organization that he goes to at this point, and he's going to help someone win. But we have to make sure we're getting back something, baby.
Yeah, we are. We definitely have to make sure. You know what? And here's one of the things I forgot to do this just because. Take a quick look at Shakira Richardson, Nike's new $20 million superstar.
They're away first time. Can Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price deliver? She's got a good start, but watch Sharika Jackson. Sharika Jackson, is she just going to do it? Oh, on the near side, right at the end. The iconic 5 times champion was stunned. Richardson needed a better start than she got in the semis, and she came through in fine style, and maybe, just maybe, being in lane 9 was the best thing that could have happened to her for that final. 10.65, that is outstanding. Lyles took the men's title. Richardson has stormed to the women's title.
Dude, that was crazy. Dude, they were up. Dude, that got me fired up, man. Back in my track coaching days, boy. My goodness.
She was getting it, man. She was getting it. Yeah.
That's some straight up purse snatching speed, boy. Like, what?
Coming from behind, too. Coming from behind you. That's when you thought you were about to win. Woo.
Oh, you ain't getting away, Mother Hubbard. She's like, let me reel your ass in.
Right here. Yeah, that was good, man.
Oh, my goodness gracious,
the best
man.
in the world, for sure.
Woo-wee. Man, that was it's so funny, like, because track meets for the most part are boring.
Mm-hmm.
They're long, they're boring. I would tell my guys bring snacks. Oh, I'd bring snacks as a coach, but I'll tell them bring your own snacks, bring your music, make sure your iPads are charged up, the whole 9,
Mm-hmm.
And here comes a guy outside. Here comes a guy outside my window with the freaking the blower to cut the grass, and this happens like twice a month, 3 times a month.
He right on time.
Yeah, but track meets are boring, man. And man, when you get fired up during the 100 meters, the 200 meters, 4x1, 4x2, and man, you just there's a feeling you get like when I first started coaching track, and then I was at Curie. I was coaching track before that, but I had this kid. They called him Booby. I can't remember, from Booby Miles from Friday Night Lights. He was one of the running backs at Curie with us, and this dude had some just stupid retarded speed, bro.
Oh yeah.
And we were down. We were in 4th place in the 4x2. It was a bad handoff on the third handoff, and he was our anchor. Dude, this dude tracked down everybody but one. He ran out of real estate, because if it was another 20 meters, he'd have won the damn thing. I was up in the stands watching it, and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, whoa. I'm like, he's reeling in every single son of a gun, and I was like, damn.
And I'm switching the gears. That's what you saw. Like,
I was like, whoa, this Joker. I was like, that was one of the best performances I had ever seen. Nice. And it just got me so fired up. And so track meets are fun, man. And it's just, just a lot of downtime. It's a lot of, but it's cool. And it was imperative for me being a defensive coordinator. So, I needed to have all my running backs, my wide receivers, my DBs, even some of my linemen, had them running track. And if you're not running, then you're doing field events just to keep your ass out of trouble, but to keep you in shape. You know what I mean? Moving on. The next top of the morning topic. I'm happy for this. Former White Sox skipper. Actually, not skipper. Let me take that back. Third base coach, Jim Leland, has been elected in the Baseball Hall of Fame. All right. He had a career, and he went out to become a manager after that. He had a 1,769 to 1,728 record as a manager. He was a World Series champ back in 1997. Okay. 3-time manager of the year. And was it the contemporary committee or something? Gave him the voted him in. But man, it's good to see a former Chicago, someone with Chicago ties, getting elected to the Hall of Fame. Hats off to Jimmy Leland for this amazing, amazing honor.
Yeah, it's always a treat, man, to see one of our guys go into the Hall of Fame. Man, I'm not too familiar with them.
Yeah, you might be a little before your time.
A little bit before my time. You know, I think I was outside a little bit too much during those years. Not paying much attention to the White Sox, that's for sure. But yeah, man, shout out to Jimmy Leland. Shout out to the White Sox organization, man, for something positive finally coming out of that organization, man. You know, a lot of negative lately, a lot of bad press. Just something really good, something new cheer about.
Yeah, it's good. I'm happy. And you know, I do remember him. So, like I said, anyone with Chicago ties doing well, you know, I got nothing but love for you, man. The next top of the morning topic. College football playoffs are set.
And this being the last one in Pac-12 play, eternal bragging rights in some ways. Panic zips it out wide. Odunze breaking a tackle from Lampkin and out of bounds. And that thing just... He still hasn't completed a pass here in the first quarter. They'll keep it on the ground. Roydell Williams. This time the bad snap almost paid off because Williams got to the mesh point.
I feel better that I'm still alive based on after all the threats to being tossed out of the booth. Manning, oh boy, there's the arm talent on display, completing it to Cook. And Jonte Cook, a fellow true freshman alongside Manning with a nice...
Remember McCarthy, he's a terrific runner. They snap it to him early. McCarthy delivers and caught on the far sideline for a first down, Michigan.
College football playoffs are set. Michigan number 1, Washington number 2, Texas number 3. And man, oh man, oh man, I didn't know elephants could jump that high. Alabama jumps into number 4, pissing off everybody in Tallahassee and Florida State. Your thoughts on this scenario? Tallahassee's pissed. Georgia's pissed.
Hey, must be the money, right? That's the only reason that Alabama could have jumped Florida State, man. I can't believe Florida State didn't get that pick, man.
You know, this indicated exactly, and the NCAA did exactly what the players did. Like, oh, you're going for the money,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Well, we knew the NCAA was all about money. They wanted to hide behind no, so they said, okay. They just finally came out and said, all right, cool. Florida State, you're undefeated, ACC champ, but you lost your starting quarterback. That's not gonna fly in this playoffs.
Right.
That's not gonna fly in this playoffs. So you know what? You're the weakest link. Goodbye. And they cut them.
Go. Yep.
Georgia, in Georgia, like, man, all you had to do was win.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a tough one, and you couldn't pull it off. Alabama was rolling. They lost their first game. They played some 1AA school in the first game. They blew them out. They lost their second game to Texas,
mm-hmm.
and then haven't lost since. And so, you know what? Because there's only 4, thank God, next year that's going to be increased to 12, I want to say. You know what? If you're 13, 14, and 15, I don't really give a shit if you bumped out and you feel you belong. Like, all right, you're 12, 13, 14, 15. Sorry, homie. But if you're Florida State, you're Georgia, you have a legitimate gripe. All right, and I'm glad they're finally expanding next year. But man, how would you feel if you're a Florida State Seminole Sunday yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
Man, you're sick, man. You're sick about this because you guys have worked hard, you know, regardless the fact that we lost our quarterback. We've still been competitive. We still finished the season strong, and we're still undefeated. And you got a 1-win team who trumped us or getting that opportunity to play for the national championship. I think it's wrong. I don't think it's cool, that they did that to the kids. Guys who put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this game, man. And that just sucks for them. The landscape is set, and I'm rooting for Washington right now. Really like what Michael Penix has done. I thought he was competitive all year long. To beat Oregon twice this season.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's big. Oregon's being the powerhouse, and I'm just rooting for them right now. That's the only team in this. I'm sick of seeing the Alabamas there. Michigan. Michigan could pull it out as well, but I'm rooting for Washington.
Michigan. It ties here close to me. Jimmy Harbaugh, former Chicago Bear. Obviously, he's a Michigan man as well, but former Chicago Bear. We drafted him in the first round back with Ditka, the guy that I want to come back and coach this Bears team next year. But also J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy is from LaGrange Park. One of my former teammates is his quarterback coach. He's been his quarterback coach since he was his sixth grade. And so local kid done really, really well. And he's he's leaving for the NFL draft after this. And I'd love to see, I'd love to see Jim Harbaugh win a national title and then leave, come here and win a Super Bowl. How dope would that be? Hey. He leads, like that would be the perfect life. You lead your alma mater to the national championship. Then you lead your pro team, the team that drafted you, back to a Super Bowl title. Man, as a coach, as a former player turned coach, there really is I can't think of a better, to go on in your career. I mean, because he's at the end of his career. I'd say another 6 to 10 years, he'll be gone. Man, I think that would be phenomenal. And so I want Michigan, like I said, little home ties. And like I said, my buddy coaches J.J. McCarthy, his private quarterback coach. So, but that's going to be tough. Did you see their reaction when they got that draw? They're like, you got Alabama. They're like,
oh man.
Shit.
Hey, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, though. That's how it goes, man. That is how it goes.
There was an eerie sound, eerie feel, and you felt it when you watched it. When they announced that, they were like, "Oh, ouch." Getting past Alabama is going to be tough, dude. They haven't lost since September.
Yeah,
September.
Yeah, we know they're a competitive team, man. They've been there before too, so they're going to come and they're going to bring it. So, I believe in Jim Harbaugh, man, and him having his team prepared. Like you said, McCarthy's been playing well, man. They got the running back. I can't think of his name right now.
Blake Corum, man,
who's also been playing well, man. They're a pretty solid team, man. I think that they could do it. Like you said, you guys got to bring it, man. Got to bring it. It's about being the best on that day.
Yeah. So they're going to be in the Rose Bowl, 100,000 on New Year's Day. I think that's awesome. And then the Texas-Washington game is going to be at the Sugar Bowl in Nollins on New Year's Day. And that brings back memories from me when I was in college. My first 2 years at Holy Cross, my uncle lived in Vegas. And so he was an accountant. He had good money. And he didn't spend. Only had big, important things like houses and stuff like that. But other than that, he didn't spend money. So he flew me from Holy Cross to Vegas with him we were off for a month for the first 2 weeks. And then that 2 weeks I was in Vegas, we'd go down to California because his wife's had family in LA. So my first 2 years, we went to the Rose Bowl, which is dope as hell, dude. Yeah. Dope. And both games I went were Michigan and the SC. Michigan won 1 year with Leroy Horde. And then next year, USC won. So Michigan, USC, both years, and it was great. So sitting in the Rose Bowl, one of the most historic football stadiums in college football in this country, was awesome. Yeah. It's going to be there. So Michigan and Alabama are going to be there, and it's going to be one hell. Man, I think it's going to be great. I'm excited for, and let's not forget, isn't it Georgia and Florida State as well? So they're gonna get it on. They're like, all right, the battle of the first two losers.
Yeah. Look, but That's going to be a really good game too, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. Hey, listen, we got to take a break. Hey, Samuel, thanks for joining me this morning, Papa. I appreciate it. Hey, I don't know how much time you got. Can you come back for like 10 minutes?
For 10, yeah, I can come back for 10.
All right, cool.
Gotcha.
Let's take a quick break, and then the other side, we're going to finish up. It's top of the morning, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
The organization is committed to a culture of accountability and upholding our values across our employees and players both on and off the ice. Last week, management was notified of possible misconduct by Corey Perry. We immediately pulled him from the game and conducted an internal investigation. Upon learning the findings of the investigation, we made the decision to terminate his contract. As this is an individual personnel matter, I will not be able to disclose any details related to the initial reporting, investigation, or the findings. However, I do want to be very clear on this one point. This does not involve any players or their families, and anything that suggests otherwise, or anyone that suggests otherwise, is wildly inaccurate, and frankly, it's disgusting. This has been a tough situation, and I understand you wanted answers. It was important that we took all the necessary steps before sharing more.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. That was first of CHGO podcast. That was the Hawks GM, and that was the crazy rumors. All right, with Corey Perry, they rescinded his. They suspended. They took him off the ice. They suspended him. He was away from the team. And the rumors were going around. They were crazy, about him being with Connor Bedard's mom, and that took wildfire because it makes sense. It's salacious, so of course that's going to spread like wildfire, And then it just turned out to be that he was just drunk at an event. He was drunk and just was, some unacceptable behavior. I'm glad they did that. This organization has no room for anything like that, especially after the situations that they've had. They have to jump out in front of everything. They have to, and I applaud him for getting out in front of it. Corey Perry, he came out with a statement saying he's going to, get alcohol treatment, substance abuse help, and things like that, and he needs it. But glad they got out in front of it. And I'm glad he squashed all those rumors about what he said. It's not with any of the players or the players' family. And that was cool because, man, you saw those rumors running around. He's with Bedard's mom. We're like, oh, Jesus. So thank God it wasn't that.
Man, who comes up with this stuff, man? The people that just create these rumors are just crazy, right? They come up with the craziest things. And you're right, man. Kudos to them, to the Blackhawks organization, man, for coming out and getting ahead of this thing, man, and just coming out and just saying it like, hey, it doesn't involve any players and it doesn't involve any players' family members. So, let's stop with the rumors right away, and not leave it up for us to, speculate. Hey, well, did it happen this way? Is that anything that's going on? You put your foot on top of that rumor right away and just, stump that fire out. Good to see that they did that right away, man. Unfortunate for the organization though that we lose Perry. Thought he would have been a good addition to this team. Yeah, but man, you gotta know how to control your alcohol, man. You gotta be a stand-up guy, man. And shout out to him too for coming out and admitting it. And I think the first sign of, you have to be aware first before anything else, before you can actually get help. And hopefully he gets the help that he needs, man, because it had to be pretty bad because we've all been at like holiday parties and everything with our coworkers and seeing people get drunk and say some things, maybe flirt with some people and do some things, but no one's ever gotten fired. So it had to be pretty bad, whatever it was he done. He got pretty out of body. So hopefully he gets the help that he needs, and now that he recognizes that this is an issue, this is a problem.
It is. Want to say what's up to man Luis Mejia. Luis, what's up, Papa? Good morning. Rise and grind, Papa. Hey, I'm sorry I was supposed to meet you up at the CrossFit Warehouse on Saturday, but man, I had too much fun. I forgot. Oh man, Armando, how much does Nike pay me for my imaginary contract in my head? They allow me to only buy their merchandise. So that's the deal. I can only buy them unless it's like a small, insignificant brand. But other than that, I'll only wear Nike shoes, gym shoes, Nike gear. Yeah. So, but that's my fictitious contract that I have with them in my head. Oh, Brian Hendren's in the Mickey Ficky house. Good morning, Papa. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh, Suki now, Mr. Show Days up in this mother Hubbard boy. That's what I'm talking about. I told you, boy, the usual suspects are going to be coming in, boy. They're coming in, and I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, well, you know what? We can continue moving a little bit. You know what? Shorty, good to see you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Well, the Bears, 4-8. They get their prep for their matchup against the Detroit Lions. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Sunday at Soldier Field. You're not indoors. We're not indoors anymore, baby. Sorry. All right, we're not indoors. Your thoughts? This team, the Bears are they went 0-4. Okay, then they went 4-4. So you take out those first 4 games. If you split those, man, we're 6-6, and we're in the middle of the playoff hunt. Talk to me about what you're thinking about this Sunday. A lot of shit. They're really feeling themselves. And you know what? When you haven't been good in 3 decades, bro, when you haven't been in a playoff game in 3 decades, that's all a lot of people in this country.
Most of their fan base, older than their fan base.
In a playoff game. You know what I'm saying? Like, not playoff win. That was 91.
Right.
So I get it. They're feeling themselves. But the Bears got a little chip. They got a little score to settle. But as the Bears snatched defeat from the jaws of victory a couple weeks ago facing the Lions up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna be on the grass, like you said, now in the cold. So we'll see how they perform out there, man. The Lions almost gave up a game yesterday to
Yes, I was hoping and
the
praying like
Saints.
you sons of biscuits.
Yep. So they're a resilient bunch, though. I will say this about them, though. They're a resilient team. Like, man, they fight to the end, but they almost gave that one up. And I think ever since we beat them, it's like they've been teetering, going down a little bit. So I'm looking forward to this next game. I think this is a statement game for us. We have to come out and beat a team with a winning record. Like, we haven't done that under this coaching regime, and it should happen this weekend. And that's what we want to see. Put your stamp on this game. We've shown teams how to defeat this Lions team. They're at the top of the division now, and if we want to be at the top of the division, we have to come in and show that we're going to fight. We're going to be able to compete in this division. And I think we have the talent. We match up well. Hey, it's all about the coaches, though. We know that. We all know that in Chicago, that it's about the coaches. It's not about the talent we have on the field. The coaches have to put these guys in position to be successful. Hopefully, they come out with some good game plans. Guys are rested up and feeling good, and this is a game we all want to see them win.
Yeah, and you know what? They got to get nasty, bro. Sorry, you got to get nasty. You got to take out Jared Goff. And I don't mean anything cheap, anything illegal. No, not at all. Because I didn't play that way. I never allowed my players to play that way. All right, but there is a way you could take someone out. You could put your face mask through his spine. All right, if you're coming from behind, put it through his rib cage. All right, put your shoulder in his rib cage. So let me tell you, playing with bruised or cracked ribs is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, I did that when we were trying to get to our first national championship with the Thunder, boy. Let me tell you, I was not letting another running back go in there to run that game out. Wasn't happening. Wasn't going to happen, Kevin. I'm sorry. Not after. No way, Jose. No. So, man, it hurt to breathe. It hurt to take a hit. It hurt everything. But there's ways you can get people out. All right, you can put shoulder pads in ribs. You can put shoulder pad. You know what I mean? And we have to have somebody. And I'm telling you, I think I told you last time, I want someone to knock the shit out of Dave Montgomery because I'm starting to get annoyed with him. I
am too, man.
You run your mouth a little too much. Like now you're over there, like, ha ha. Like, listen, homie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you little
good
face little punk. We got you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you good, but you're not that good. Good enough to be talking this trash to us right now. Yeah, man. I want to see a physical game too, man. I think that's the brand of football we all want to see here in Chicago going forward, man. It's that defense to just come out and be physical. I think we have the players on our team, to come out and do that. Like you said, we have to go out and we have to hit golf early and often, man. Hit them early and often.
Just how you vote in Chicago, baby. Early and often.
Yep. Drop 300 pounds on top of those ribs every now and then, maybe 6 if you add another defensive lineman, both you guys get there. And see if he wants to finish their game. That's how it has to happen. Like, I'm with you, man. That's how I was in college, in high school as well, man. I'm going to hit you. I'm going to get every hit I can on the quarterback because I know that in the end, the closer I get, then the ball's going to come out a little bit faster, because you don't want to get hit. They don't want to keep getting hit. They don't want to keep getting up off the ground. They don't want to keep, feeling all your body weight falling on top of there. So you have to keep it going, man. You have to keep doing it. Keep doing it early and often, and those guys are going to start making mistakes or he's going to come out of the game, one or the other.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be rainy Sunday, 40 degrees, 40 about a high of 40 and rainy. We'll see. I think that's a great way to lay the smackdown on their candy asses and make them hurt, leave them hurt, dirty and hurt and broken. Like I said, they're just flying high right now, and we let them off. We let them off the hook, and I think that the win against Minnesota really helped this Bears team. All right, learn how to finish and close games. All right, finish and close games. You got to be a closer. All right, and we weren't able to close games before. And I'm not saying we're the greatest closers in the world now, but now that you got that taste of what it takes to close a game, to finish off a game, I think this team is going to be a lot more prepared. Mentally prepared is the most important thing to close out a game if we get it. Now, we're going to have to create turnovers because I don't know if Goff's going to throw 7 interceptions like he did last time we played. So you're going to have defense going to have to step up, which they have been. All right, you're gonna have to create turnovers. I mean, I want people punching the ball out. I want people ripping the ball out from ball carriers. All right, I need that. We're gonna have to create turnovers because we can't assume that Goff's gonna give us the ball. We got to take it. Hence the term takeaways. So hopefully we can. If we do that, I think we're gonna be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it, man. I think we have a chance. We all know that we have a chance, man. We match up well against these dudes.
Real quick, man. I was saying earlier in a couple podcasts last week, I'm looking at this was before yesterday's matchups. I'm like, I think the Bears could go 4-1, maybe 5-0. But man, I'm thinking 4-1 or 3-2 now, somewhere in there. Give me your final thoughts on how the Bears are going to finish up these final 5 games of the season. Because after the way Green Bay played last night, I was like, fudge crackers, man. They did the same shit. The same shit that they did with Aaron Rodgers. He sat 3 years behind Favre. This guy sat 2 years behind Rodgers. Like, oh Jesus.
Hey man, it's just good coaching, man. That's just what good coaching does, man. They understand how to develop a quarterback, and we just haven't been as fortunate to have anyone to be able to do that for us here in Chicago. Green Bay looked good yesterday, man. So, like you say, man, we're looking at maybe 4-1. I definitely see 4-1. I could see 5-0, man. We're going to compete with Green Bay simply because they're Green Bay, and I just want us to be healthy when we face them, man. And that's another statement game for us and our team. I think we'll all be up for that game. So, it depends on how these games before. That's the final game of the season. So games before that are going to matter. If we've been competitive in those games, we haven't laid down for anyone, then that last game is going to be extremely competitive.
I think it is, man. I think, we got one. We're trying to win 2. If we win 2, we win our second consecutive one this week. All right, it'll be against a good team, against Detroit. And now we got, Suki. Now we got, now we're going to start to feel ourselves. All right, go to Cleveland. All right, then you come back home. Like, all right, we got you. Don't trip. We got you. We got the Arizona Cardinals. Then we have the Atlanta Falcons. All right, before we go up to Green Bay. So, yeah, it's possible. This is gonna be a huge thing. So, hopefully the Bears are able to get it rolling. And, man, I'm fired up for it, man. I am fired the freak up. It's only Monday, dog, and I'm fired up.
Yes, sir. We all are, man. We all want to see this season finish strong, man. And the best thing about it is we'll still have the number 1 draft pick. We'll have the first pick.
Yes, we
ESPN
will.
Analytics predicts that we have a 93% chance of having the number 1 draft pick. I think Carolina has to win 2 games and New England has to lose all of their games in order for them to swap places. So we're good. I think we're good in that sense. I can't see Carolina winning 2 games. And I think New England's going to win at least 1 more game this season. So I think we're good in that sense. So we can afford to be competitive, man, and fight. Show a lot of fight in this season. It's going to be on the coaches, man. I think the players, they want it. We've seen Justin Fields go out there and lay it all on the line, even with the thumb injury. He's been showing up his last 4 games. He has 1,000 yards, man, 9 touchdowns and 1 interception over his last 4 complete games. That's not counting the Vikings game that he exited early. Yeah, the injury game. So that's good, man. That's development. That shows me that he's developing and that he's turning it around, man. We just have to continue to help him to develop, man, with what he has. And, the team around him has to play well. Like I said, defense has to step it up. It's going to be a good game either way.
I'm looking forward to it. Samo, thanks a lot, Papa. I appreciate it. Let everyone know where they can find you online.
Yes, sir. You can find me on X Twitter at Big Samo80, and you can also find me on the Nomad Live show and Nomad at Night on the Nomad Network on YouTube. Be sure to go like, share, and subscribe there. And you can find me here on Sports Zone Chicago with my guys, the SuperBack Shawn Sierra.
Look forward to see you on Wednesday, Papa. You have a great day.
All right, you too. Take it easy, brother.
All right, now. Guys, we got to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to talk college football and the madness and insanity that it is with my man, David Kenyon. I texted him yesterday, and it was like, man, there was no other person that I want to talk college football with than you. So I'm fired up because we have a lot to talk about because there's a lot A lot of sad people, a lot of upset rich folk down in Tallahassee. A lot of upset rich folk. Woo-wee. A lot of upset rich folk in Athens as well. Man, but did they get it right? We're going to ask David. So don't go anywhere, folks. David Kenyon from Bleacher Report with college football talk coming up next. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
To run for 17, back he goes, here comes Chubb, there goes the ball, touchdown, Mooney! Jones back at the left tackle, time for Fields, now he'll accelerate to get the first down, great tackles, and he's off to the races, and we got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
And this being the last one in Pac-12 play. Eternal bragging rights in some ways. Panic zips it out wide. Odunze breaking a tackle from Lampkin and out of bounds. And that thing just...
He still hasn't completed a pass here in the first quarter. They'll keep it on the ground. Roydell Williams. This time the bad snap almost paid off because Williams got to the mesh point.
I feel better that I'm still alive based on after all the threats to being tossed out of the booth. Manning, oh boy, there's the arm talent on display, completing it to Cook. And Jonte Cook, a fellow true freshman alongside Manning with a nice...
Remember McCarthy, he's a terrific runner. They snap it to him early. McCarthy delivers and caught on the far sideline for a first down, Michigan.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those videos courtesy of Fox and CBS. Woo! Man. The committee did a number, boy. They did a number on people all over the country, especially down south. Man, those southern gentlemen are not happy in good old Georgia, in good old Tallahassee. Did they get it right? Well, no other person I'd rather talk to than the guy. He's been rocking with us for years, man. I love talking to him, and I was happy that we were able to get him because I am fired up. You know, I'm fired up. People are extremely upset about this all over the country. Well, man, let's bring him in. He's a college football writer over at Bleacher Report, and you can find him on Twitter at Kenyon19_BR. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, our guy, David Kenyon. David, what's up, Papa? Good morning. Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
You know, great start as always. Good to be with you, Shawn. Unfortunately, we're going to probably be complaining here for a while, so I will do my best to not be a total downer.
Man, so let's dive right into it. All right, Michigan number 1. Okay, understandable. All right, Washington number 2. No problems there. Texas number 3. Okay, I can ride with that. And Alabama jumps and says, "Excuse me, Florida State. You sit back in the kids' table, or we go to the banquet table." Your thoughts on Alabama? I didn't realize elephants could jump that far, but hey, what do I know? Your thoughts? Did they get it right?
No. I mean, at Texas, I'm okay. I was thinking about this a lot, obviously going into Sunday, and just the way that the committee has operated in the past, which is a challenge because the group is constantly changing within that room, which I do think is okay for the record. But historically, it wouldn't have been unreasonable for Texas to be ahead of Florida State, given that they had beaten Alabama, right? Like we've seen that before. It happened to Florida State in the first year when they were undefeated, but 2 one-loss teams were ahead of them. So that wouldn't have bothered me. The challenge is when you look at what the committee has said about how they ranked these teams, like it's basically just, yeah, we went on vibes. Like, yeah, I think Florida State just like that's the explanation basically. And one of the things that has driven me nuts about every committee chairman who has a thankless job, for the record, like I acknowledge that, they get on and they say, well, we considered that as a factor. And, the committee talked and we decided Alabama was 4th and Florida State was 5th. Like it's just this vague, okay, that's what we decided kind of thing. There's no consistency. The structure that's there is kind of just not even followed because, we have this criteria, these 4 things in here. And also this year we just decided, hey, who do teams not want to play? Like that's literally what Boo Corrigan said.
It was crazy because obviously Florida State's pissed. Georgia has a legitimate gripe, although I think Georgia. I think 5 is where they belong. I think 5 is where they belong. It's it was tough. I know you lost. You hadn't lost in 12 years. I'm kidding, of course. It was a tough one, but no one cares about your other 2 years. All right, it's only about this year. It's not about your win streak. But that I just couldn't. And I get it. I think they made it. Everyone talks about college sports is now it's all about money. All right, you got what was someone saying? It costs a good quarterback's going to cost $1 million in NIL money if you hit the transfer portal, right? So college football said, you know what, you're right. It is about money. And Florida State lost their quarterback, and I don't think they're going to be as competitive without him as they would be with him. And since this is about money, this is about rankings, this is about ratings, and you want to put on a best show for people, I don't agree with it, but believe you me, I understand exactly why the committee did what they did.
Yeah, and the frustration with all of this is not with Alabama for me, because Alabama's good enough to win.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, Alabama can win the championship. This has nothing to do with Alabama.
You saw the reaction in Michigan, right? They're like, oh, shit.
Right. I think that's part we wanted to play Florida State, and part I can't believe they actually did that. So I think that might be getting read too much into, but whatever. But Alabama is Alabama. I'm good with them. This is a championship caliber team that happened to lose a game against one of the other best teams in the country. I'm good with Alabama.
And roll off 10 straight afterwards. 10 straight afterwards.
Right. The problem is the process for me, because also then when you're looking at this, and you brought up Georgia, so you're telling me that you would rather play Florida State, or you would rather not play Florida State right now than Georgia. So your committee's ranking is saying Texas, Alabama, but actually Florida State would be tougher right now than Georgia, even without this quarterback that somehow, for some reason, we're taking into account, even though Florida State won all their games. Okay, fine. If you're telling me that's the justification, I disagree vehemently, but then make it consistent. So you're telling me Florida State is a tougher team right now than Georgia, than Oregon, than even Ohio State? What are we doing? And it's just so frustrating because there's no accountability here. It's just, this is what we decided, so therefore that's what we're doing.
We have spoken is basically what they said. We have spoken. Deal with it. It's going to be interesting. You know, I don't think I want Michigan to win the national championship. You know, I like Harbaugh. You know, one, he's a Michigan man, but two, you know, we drafted him here in Chicago. Okay, when he was a player. I want him to come back and coach his Bears team into the Super Bowl, which I think he can. I also have ties. I was saying earlier, my guy, one of my former teammates is JJ McCarthy's quarterback coach. He's been his quarterback coach since in grammar school. So I have some ties in Michigan. So yeah, I'd like for them to win. I don't know if they're going to be able to get past Alabama. Alabama is a hungry team. They missed the playoffs last year. They're rejuvenated now that they got in this tournament. I don't know if they can beat them, dude. I don't know. I don't know. And the thing is, Michigan doesn't know if they can beat him either, as you saw by the energy when they found out they're playing Alabama. It was literally like, oh shit. So Nick Saban might pull off another one and add another ring to his collection.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Alabama's a team. Like this is a really quality team. They've been getting better as the season has gone on. Jalen Milroe, quarterback, early in the season, like he was bad.
Yep.
I don't know exactly. Obviously, it's tough to get any details there about Saban's mindset. You know, they went to South Florida, and he was like, "Oh, well, it was always the plan to get all these three quarterbacks some snaps." But it's like, well, Milroe looked pretty bad. So are you trying to find something else? But the last month plus, Milroe's been pretty awesome, and he's really found an ability to mix in his legs at the right times where it was a whole lot like it just didn't feel like Alabama had a functional, reliable system in the first part of the year, which is understandable because you have a new offensive coordinator. It takes time. But then they get into the second part of the season. Milroe runs for 4 touchdowns against LSU. He plays so well against Kentucky. Obviously, what he did against Georgia this past weekend was very impressive. So certainly a different kind of team that Michigan has not seen this year with a mobile quarterback of his ability. First of all, because Milroe is an awesome running quarterback, but just because the Big Ten didn't really have somebody like that this year, where Michigan's toughest games, Drew Aller, he's not a mobile quarterback. Kyle McCord, he can move a little bit, but he's not Milroe, certainly. So yeah, absolutely. Alabama can win this game. Michigan's defense should not be discounted. I think that's kind of flown under the radar with so many things. You know, the Harbaugh suspension early because of recruiting, Harbaugh suspension late because of sign stealing, the sign stealing in general. Like there are so many things with Michigan that it's kind of overlooked just how freaking good this Michigan defense is. And Alabama's offensive line, while it has been better lately, is the problem of this team. So Michigan is at a just extreme advantage up front based on the whole season. So Michigan absolutely could win this game, but you're probably going to have to make it a low-scoring game for Michigan to win because the more Alabama's scoring, I don't know that Michigan can do that on Alabama's defense.
Yeah, do they have that firepower against that defense? Because you're dealing with a whole bunch of first and second rounders on that Alabama defense, as you would every single year. Give me your thoughts on some of the bowl matchups then. All right, so now since those two dudes got jilted, or those two programs, I should say, got jilted, Georgia and Florida State are going to end up actually, no, it's Florida and Georgia. I thought there was Florida State and Georgia. Well, Florida's playing Georgia in the Orange Bowl. Give me your thought on Georgia. Because I mean they're a little salty too.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia, I think the moment that result was final, I think that was clear. Short of Florida State losing in the nightcap. But I think Georgia kind of knew that once that loss happened, their fate was pretty much sealed. I still think there's a whole lot of motivation within Georgia just to be like, hey, we had another perfect season and the breaks didn't really go our way like they did 2 years ago for us to get into the playoff. But you're definitely looking at a vulnerable Florida State team that Georgia's looking at like, I think we really want to finish on a strong on a strong note. The other thing that matters here, kind of the undertone, is recruiting. Florida State's done a good job in the last year or so recruiting, getting into Georgia a little bit. So this is kind of a pride thing, I would think, for Kirby Smart. That's like, yeah, we got to protect our state because Georgia is one of the best states for college football recruiting.
Oh yeah.
And so to knock off Florida State, be like, no. See, we just played them last year, and even without the quarterback, they had a great defense. Like, their defense was awesome, and we put it to them. Like that kind of thing. There's still value in that.
I was just looking at the paper so it is Florida State and Georgia.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I thought I heard that yesterday, which is why I said it. And then when I looked at the paper, they have it misprinted. It said Florida. And I was like, no, I thought it was. Okay, yeah. So Florida State, Georgia, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. That makes and I feel bad for them. That it's just when you only have 4 teams, it's tough. We'll talk to me about next year. It's not going to be 4 teams next year. It's going to be 12. All right. And there's still going to be 13, 14, 15 who feel that they got jilted, but I'm like, you're 13, 14, 15. Shut the hell up. I don't really care about you. Okay. I don't. So give me your thoughts moving next year. How do you think this expanded playoff, college football playoff is going to be? Is it going to be much better because we're adding more teams? And like I said, and the further down you go, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, those fringe guys, they're all pretty much interchangeable, or do you think moving forward next year?
Well, so the tough thing that I always say when this conversation comes up is look at the basketball tournament, right? We've got 68 teams and we're complaining about 69, 70, and 71 sometimes. Like there's no amount of expansion ever that will satisfy this because we have that in college basketball and it doesn't work. So when you look at this year, it would have been a nice and convenient cutoff for 0, 1, and 2 loss teams in the Power 5 because 12th ranked Oklahoma is 10-2 and LSU is 9-3. However, there's going to be a spot for a group of 5 teams. So in this context, based on what we're expecting next year, Liberty would be in. So now you have to make a determination between Missouri, Penn State, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma. So Oklahoma beat Texas, but they're number 12. But Ole Miss, I mean, I'll pull this up just to be absolutely certain, but Ole Miss, best win this season, LSU. Otherwise lost to Georgia by 35. Oklahoma lost twice, but they lost close. So we're going to have this discussion at 11 and 12 and 13. So like I don't care. I like 4. I don't mind 4 because until this year, the only time where there was legitimately a controversy was the first year when the Big 12, to its own problem, I think, said Baylor and TCU are co-champions, even though there was a head-to-head result there.
Yeah.
And again, this was when Florida State was jumped as an undefeated team, and Ohio State made it in the last weekend, jumping Baylor and TCU. So with a 3rd-string quarterback, just for the record. And so it's like the 4 team has worked 80 or 90% of the time. And that's a pretty good success rate.
Mm-hmm.
And the 12 team, I would say, is going to work 80 to 90% of the time, especially because, as you said, when you're getting into that 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, a lot of these are similar teams that football, as you know, having played, eventually the talent is going to win out. At this level, with this quality of coaching, in lower levels, bad coaching can destroy talent. But at this level, you're going to have good coaching. So for a 12 seed to win in the future, you're going to have to win several games. You're going to have to win 2 more games than right now. The idea of a 12 seed winning in the college football playoff in the future is low. Like the probability is low. It's going to be fun. Absolutely, it's going to be fun. It's going to be more college football. You and I love that. Absolutely. Yep. Getting these games on campus in the early rounds, that's going to be awesome.
And
but it's not going to solve anything.
Getting someone upset, and I think that's what's going to be the fun part, just like March Madness. You're going to get one 3 or 4 team or 5 seed that maybe has one loss or maybe even undefeated, depending on how it goes that particular year, and they get upset. And you're like,
Yep.
whoa, number 11 got him. Oh my God. You know what I mean? So that's that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking for who's going to be the first big team, first undefeated team that gets upset.
Right.
And that's going to be so awesome.
No, I totally agree. The system itself is going to be fun. It's going to be more high level football. I love that. I'm here for that. But it's just that if you think 12 is going to magically solve all of these issues, it's not. The only thing it's going to do is ensure that Florida State, as an undefeated Power Conference champion, is probably going to have an automatic bid. The way things are trending right now, they're going to have to adjust what their plan was because the Pac-12 doesn't exist anymore. But that's the advantage, that like you're going to have those people, those teams in, guaranteed, which is a good thing. It's just that if you think this is going to eliminate all the conversation at the back end, you're just lying to yourself.
I'm excited. I'm upset about it just because of what it is now, and I'm looking forward to next year. Like I said, I want to give me your thoughts on the one, because we're not talking about Washington, Texas. All right, we're talking about, man, Michigan was pissed off that they got Alabama. Alabama, as we know, this is their wheelhouse. They've been in the college playoff. Almost every year it's been in existence. All right, so and we're focusing on those guys. Michigan's number 1, Alabama's number 4, but Alabama, we understand that the NFL prospects all littered throughout that whole team, but we're kind of overlooking Washington and Texas. Why should we not overlook Washington and Texas?
Because the winner goes to the national championship. I mean, that it's such a good point. Like they are very much the bridesmaid of this conversation right now, because everybody's focused on Michigan and Alabama, understandably so. I mean, we've sat here for 20 minutes talking about it. I get it. But Texas and Washington is going to be fascinating, in particular because of the location. You have the Sugar Bowl, which is a traditional Big 12 spot. Washington is, on pretty much the other side of the country as far as that goes. Yep. Texas fans, obviously, they travel well.
Yes, they do.
This could turn into a little bit more of a Texas home game, which is a big deal. It's certainly not going to be overwhelming, I wouldn't think. The interesting thing here for Washington is the running game has been a lot better late in the season with Dylan Johnson. Texas, that run defense is incredible. I mean, it has been dominant all season. So that's going to be interesting. However, Washington is getting healthier now. Jalen McMillan, one of their best receivers, missed a portion of the season. So with Rome Odunze, Jalen McMillan, Jalen Polk, that is a dangerous, dangerous passing game at its peak. And these coaches are going to have a month to prepare. Both are going to come in with good game plans. You know that. But one of them is going to be better. That's the way it goes. And if Washington comes in with that one, with the offensive firepower they have, it can be 56-52, and Washington's okay. It can also be 27-23, and Washington's okay. So Texas having what's probably home field-ish counts for a point or two, I would think. But man, this is going to be a fun game. Because that Washington secondary is no joke too. And Texas not having Jonathan Brooks now with an ACL injury in the backfield. Quinn Ewers just put together the best game of his college career in the Big 12 championship. Good timing for it. So there is just so much talent, and you can convince yourself one way or the other just from the 2 minutes I've been talking about this game. You could go back and forth, and I'd be like, yeah, I get it. Because I probably won't have an official pick. You can ask me what I'm picking today, and I might have a different opinion in 20 minutes, and then it'll change tomorrow and next week. And like, you're going to have to give me until New Year's Eve or whatever to figure out what I want to do with this game, because it's an awesome matchup for sure. They're different teams, but you can tell just the vast amount of talent they have going both ways.
It's interesting. So I'm looking at the promo. So Alabama, Michigan is first. All right, they're at 5 p.m. Eastern out in Pasadena. And then 8:45 Eastern is Texas, Washington. at the Caesars Superdome in Nolens. Man, that is going to be so. The one thing that I don't want, like because we've kind of put them to the back burner because we were talking about the other team, like that game going first, and we're like, oh, okay. And people lose interest in Texas, Washington. I hope they don't. I hope they're able to keep the hype up. I really hope they are, because I would love it. After a great Michigan Alabama game, I would love to see even a great or even a better Washington Texas game, just to keep, and I'm really excited about this year's Final Four. And I know I'm upset about the guys being left out, but the way it's formatted, we knew there were going to be one or two teams that were going to be left out, and those two were. And you have a legitimate gripe, but here we are. Okay, so sorry, you guys play each other. You're the in the Losers Bowl. And I don't mean to say it like that, but the first two left out bowl that's you two. I'm talking to you about Texas though. Texas, I haven't followed Texas very much, and all I kept seeing them do was win. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm like, I know it's not Arch Manning going, because they got that whole plan set for probably next year when he's gets the starting gig, unless is Quinn staying, do you think, or
I doubt it, especially with this stage now coming up. I doubt he's back, but yeah, go on.
You know what, I think this could be the best thing for Arch. All right, I mean, look at when you sit behind a good quarterback. Okay, you're a good quarterback in yourself, in your own right, and you sit behind another good quarterback and watch him be successful, watch him run things, and he gets you to the college football playoffs or even the championship, or God, they even win it. Whoa, I have no idea what the heck happened. That was insane. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me get him back on. Whoa. Wow, that was nuts. That was nuts. Wow. Technology. Man, I don't even know what the heck to tell you. Technology at its finest. Thank goodness. But you know what? I'm excited. We talked about it. We talked about this college football playoff. I'm anxious to see it. Some of the bowl games are going to be exciting. But this CFP, man, this is what I'm excited about. Can Can Michigan get through Alabama? Can they? Can they get through Alabama? I don't know. Here we go. Dude, I have no idea what the hell happened. Technology at its finest.
All good.
So I was asking, I was like, so what this Texas-Washington game? Obviously, you can't get there without a defense. Right? At that level, you can't get there. Who should we be worried about, or what should we be looking for? Who in particular, or what couple of players on Texas's defense?
Yeah, so just the easiest way, if you're ever looking, just for everybody out there, just generally speaking, the easiest way is look at the tackles for loss list, right? So you got Jalen Ford, Ethan Burke, Byron Murphy, Tavondre Sweat, Anthony Hill. All of them have at least 7.5. Naturally, most of them are going to play defensive line or linebacker. But the thing is, they're so evenly spread through Texas's defense that when, interestingly enough, by the way, Texas defensive coordinator is Pete Kwiatkowski. Where did he come from? Washington. So, fun game there. As far as the game behind the game of a lot of these Washington guys would have been recruited to play there with Pete Kwiatkowski as a defensive coordinator.
Wow.
So there's going to be some institutional knowledge of how these guys are playing, but Texas is just so strong with the front that they don't really bring a whole lot of pressure from a requirement perspective. They'll mix it in just to keep the other offense off balance. I think that's going to be really important to pick the right spots. Obviously, I know that's kind of a generic thing to say, but pick the right spots because Penix is going to get rid of the ball so quickly that you can't really afford to be super tricky with Washington, because if you're delaying a defensive back blitz, you're basically just allowing Washington to play 11 on 10, because the chance of that blitzer getting to Penix, and then you're just sacrificing one in coverage or putting a linebacker out to replace, the slot corner who's come in or something like that. Like that's going to be a really tough thing. So you're going to have to pretty much show what you're doing and just get there anyway, because Texas certainly has done that. They're awesome. This defense is incredible, like I said, especially up front against the run. So very excited to see that cat and mouse with Kwiatkowski against his former team, and an offense that just gets rid of the ball so quickly and so efficiently.
Who do we need to watch for on Washington's offense? I know, obviously, beside the quarterback, what receivers do we need to look at? Running backs, tight ends. Who's going to be, because Penix can't throw it and catch it himself. So who's he throwing it to? Who's he handing it off to? Are there any offensive linemen that we need to be aware of? Like, okay, this guy's a stud. He's projected to be a mid to high first rounder. Who do we need to watch out in this Washington offense? Because they're on the West Coast, and a lot of people, we don't watch those games a lot just because it's late at night sometimes, and we just don't tend to watch those games as a whole.
Yeah, so a lot of the guys I mentioned earlier, running back Dylan Johnson has come on strong lately. So that's been really good. Rome Odunze is the best receiver on Washington. He's one of the best in the country this year. 81 catches, 1,428 yards, and 13 touchdowns. I mean, this is a top team All-American, whether that's first or second. I would say first, but that's a different conversation. He's been incredible. Jalen Polk just hit 1,000 yards this year, which has been really good for Washington. Beyond the obvious, it's nice to have 1,000 yards because Jalen McMillan has missed 4 games, 4+ really. And so last year, just for context, he went for 1,100 yards, and this year he's only at 468 because of those injuries largely. Also Polk's emergence as a better quality target because he's only a sophomore, and Odunze just taking the star turn. He had about 1,200 last year, and like I said, he's past 14 already. So there's just so much on Washington's offense that can hit you. And even from there, they have a whole lot of depth too, where you've got a couple tight ends who've caught several touchdowns. So when they get in the red zone, they're not just looking for their big guys. They can mix in some of the quality complementary pieces they have. So there's everywhere you look on Washington's defense, everywhere you look has talent. And Texas certainly can counter that, but there's no weak link of this Washington offense.
Kyler Gordon from Washington last year, and that dude is just after he came back from his broken hand, that dude is he's a monster. Wow, he's a monster. So
Washington secondary, they know how to crank him out. The guy this year now, his name is Jabbar Muhammad. He's been awesome too. So like we said a million times, talent on both sides, seems like it's never ending. They're here for a reason. Just going to be an awesome game.
It's going to be an awesome college football playoff, man. I am waiting for it. New Year's Day, January 8th. Dude, that's going to be dope. Hey, great stuff today, Dave. I appreciate it, man. How was the Big Ten championship game down in Indy?
It was great. I know you probably saw a few things I put out there. I was walking in and I said, Michigan by 27. I walked out and I'm like, unbelievable, man. Michigan.
You're like, I failed you. You're like, I failed you. Like I failed you. Michigan by 26.
No, it's fun. Indy's a good time. Indy Sports Corp is the one who really runs a lot of that stuff. Big Ten and Indy Sports Corp do a great job. National championship was there a couple of years ago, and I'll tell you what, like, people complain sometimes about, it's cold weather city. Why do they have this big event here? Man, if you know how to do the skywalks in Indy, you barely have to go outside. Like, Indianapolis is an awesome place to go watch some events. So if your team is ever making it there for something, whether that's basketball or football, because Final Four I think is back in a few years too. If you can go, if you want to make that trip, absolutely could not recommend it more. Great place to get around, easy to get in and out of. So Indy's great.
Yeah, I was there 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It was Ohio State. Was it Wisconsin, Purdue, something? But yeah, we were down there. Man, it was a blast. It was a blast. And being a newer stadium, it's been there a few years, but the press box is really nice, and they had a whole bunch of just things for fans and families. They do a good enough job, and that's what Chicago is trying to do here. Which is why I think that could be one of the issues why the hold up in Arlington Heights. Like, the Bears still want to see if they can get into Chicago, because Arlington Heights is about 45 minutes, an hour away from Chicago. And you got Chicago downtown that infrastructure can hold anything. So that's what we're trying to get, but we'll see. But good stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Hey, we'll be in touch soon. And man, I can't wait till these bowl games start, especially when we get to the college, the Final Four, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Shawn, thanks for having me. Good to talk to you, and I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Yes, we will, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day, Papa.
You got it.
All righty. Guys, that's David Kenyon from Bleacher Report talking college football. And man, it is a crazy mess. Kind of like my internet was a crazy mess a few minutes ago. But hey, we're going to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to talk. We're going to see red. We're not even going to talk. We're going to see red, damn it. The Bulls are white hot on their 2-game winning streak. And my man, Fred Pfeiffer, See Red Fred, is going to come on and talk with us. I am fired up. So don't go anywhere, folks. We got some Bulls talk coming up. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Got it done here. Ouch! And we're going to make sure you lit this time. Ouch! You're not going to get me this time.
Ow, Manny!
Whoops. Let's try an easy one.
Deep, season high time 23. Caruso for Bucks. Good hands from Phillips. Craig pushes to Phillips. 4 seconds. DeMar got Hawkins in the air on the step through. Marshall back out Daniels. Zeller drives. And it's blocked by Williams. Give me that. Many 9 balls by many a 7. Io cuts and then finds DeMar with a gorgeous. Kobe skips it. Io cutting. Too strong. Boots runs it down. Jones falls. Kobe.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. Those were the Bullies on Saturday. Dude, I have one question. Who the hell was that in the Bulls uniforms? Who the hell is that and how long are they staying? Because that shit looked like some real up-tempo modern basketball. Ball moving, people rebounding, extra pass, passing around people to a cutter. What the hell is that? Man, my next guest, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty because I want to know who the hell those guys were. Because I like that kind of party. You see, that's why I'm wearing my Bulls hat this morning. We're white hot with a 2-game win streak. And you know my next guest, he's been on with us plenty of times. He's the host of the Big Red Bus and Chicago Bullseye. You can find him on Twitter at CBE Fred for Chicago Bullseye. CBE Fred. Our man Fred Pfeiffer. Fred, Papa, what is up, baby? Who are those guys? What the hell is that?
It's so good to see you, Shawn. Yeah, it is a good time to be on after a 2-game winning streak for the first time in seems like forever. Yeah, it seems like it, doesn't it? Holy cow. And I mean, what's really great is, I think back-to-back nights and setting the team assist total highs for the year. So it's great to see the ball moving. But big picture, I still think we need to focus on that this year has not been lived up to the expectations or even close to it. I'm not sure how much longer this can hold out. I'm going to enjoy it while it's happening, but
why not, Fred?
Yeah. I'm the biggest C Red guy there is, but I do feel like for the future of this team, we do need to move some key pieces and hopefully kind of retool or maybe even, I hate to say it, rebuild.
Why? I mean, but why can't this happen? It wasn't just DeMar and Zach and Boot. No, it wasn't the big three. You saw the youngsters in there. All right. You saw young guys. You saw them. And the one thing that I loved, oh my God, Fred, the thing that got me excited, they're cutting to the hole. There's a crazy idea. Cut to the goddamn. There's a crazy idea. I know threes more than two, threes more than two. I know. I get it. All right. I'm a little slow in math, but I get it. But there's a vibe that you get when you get dunks. There's a vibe you get when you're able to manipulate a defense and get layups, uncontested layups, and you start posterizing people. There's a vibe, and I understand 3 versus 2. But, man, that's a form of exciting basketball. That's a form of empowering basketball because now the Bulls feel like, oh, don't worry about it. We had a couple passes, give a nice little no look or between the legs or around you, and we got a dunk. There's a mentality that goes around that comes along with that type of basketball. Is this Billy Ball, the one we've been waiting for the last 3 years when they're supposed to get younger and more athletic?
Well, I think those cuts often happen as a result, though, of good 3-point shooting. And if you're not hitting the 3-pointer, Those lanes to the basket aren't there. They shot 42.5% in the win against the Pelicans. Defense was extended, and those back cuts are available. But if you're not hitting the three, and then against Milwaukee, Vooch was 2 for 4 from three. I've stressed this all year.
9 points.
He had a fantastic game against Milwaukee. But unfortunately for the most part this year, he's shooting 24% from three. On the attempts, that's like I think it could be dead last in the NBA for the amount of attempts he's had. So when you're hitting at that poor of a rate, centers aren't going to come out. Those lanes aren't there. Those back doors don't happen as often. But it is good to see them finally kind of spreading the floor a little bit more and getting more of a modern offense, because I know we've kind of gone back and forth on this.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in there's a reason why there's very few teams, including I think I saw that Jokic and Embiid, actually Embiid is at his lowest post up rate, I think, in his career. There's a reason for that, just 'cause it's not an efficient offense in the modern day NBA. And so you really need to look at, I love the drive and kick offense. I love spreading the floor and getting shooters out there. And I have no problem if you get a mismatch, taking Vooch into the post, but there was just far too much of that. I think this year, that's part of the reason we got off to such slow starts. It hasn't worked. He's been terrible in the post this year for the most part. So yeah, I agree. These back cuts and seeing these dunks is great. And it's great to see the ball moving. But I also still am concerned this team doesn't have enough shooting and is unfortunately not going to live up to expectations. I mean, what are they going to finish with? If they hit 40 wins, I'd be shocked. And I don't think that's likely.
So we got to wait until Wednesday when they face Charlotte to see if this can continue. Listen, I liked it. I liked it. Was just free flowing basketball, and like I said, the movement. Vooch has got to get in where he fits in, and I think that Vooch can still be a huge integral part of this team. But the thing about it, you said he's shooting what
24.3%. 24%.
So then the bottom line is, like, and I know you said he hasn't been good. I don't care. Then get him down the post, because you know what? At least in the post, because if you're on the three and shooting 24%, no one's going out to cover you. At least if you get in the post, you can do one or two things. You can try and score, maybe get a foul, or you can facilitate and get someone coming off a screen. You're a lot more helpful down there. And then when you start hitting threes, okay, then get your ass back out there. Maybe they should start having to do some mid-range jumpers, right? 8-10 footers off the glass. All right, get you some rhythm, get him going, and then step back into the three. But there's got to do something with him. We re-signed him, so we got to get him going. Maybe it's just a stretch. All right, it ebbs and flows. Just like every player is going to go through these stretches. It's unfortunate that he's going through this stretch now. Have they're white hot with their 2-game win streak.
Yeah, I think overall, Vooch had an excellent game against Milwaukee, but 3 out of his last 4 games, he's had 3 triple singles. He's been, I think, awful for the greater part of the past 2 weeks. The reason we won the last game was Kobe White simply pretty much ends with that.
Literally white hot.
Absolutely fantastic. He was absolutely fantastic to finish the season last year. Lost in the disappointment over last year's team from the All-Star break on. He shot over 40% from three. Didn't miss a free throw from February to the end of the season. He's an excellent shooter. And so far this year, he's just proven it again. Last 7 games, he's leading the NBA in 3-point percentage on very high volume, over 9 per game. He's shooting 50% from three in the last 7 games. Guy's absolutely fantastic player, and he's really developing as a 23-year-old. I think he has all-star ability. I've said this before. I think he can finish somewhere in his career between CJ McCollum at the low end and Dame at the high end. I think that's where he'll end up. Obviously, probably, approaching Dame is not realistic, but I think we've continually kind of sold this kid short in terms of his potential. And I love Kobe White. I think the one good thing that you could look at with this team is that they have the core of a backcourt on very low contracts in Ayo and Kobe White that could really, if you could devote other resources to fixing the other problems in the front court and on the perimeter. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm constantly shocked at how little love this kid gets, because on the defensive end, he's been fantastic this year.
He has been much better, man.
Very good. And, so overall, if you look at Milwaukee game, it was the Killer C's that won that game. What I mean by that is if you look, and it was 80-80 to start the fourth quarter, and they had Kobe, Caruso, Craig, and Carter out there with Drummond. And that team went on a 12-0 run, 92-80. obviously Crusoe, they took him out, and next thing you know, Crusoe needs to hit a 3 to get in overtime. So they did great things in overtime too. But that lineup specifically really got them that win. So a lot of good things happening with the backcourt, the young backcourt, and the bench. But again, still, and obviously, I thought DeMar DeRozan had a fantastic game on Saturday against the Pelicans. But all this, there's still a lot of dark clouds potentially with what's going to happen with Zach and where are we going to go with him.
Yeah, Kobe 31-9-6. Dude, you give me 31-9-6 from Kobe?
Those are all star numbers.
Man. And I like it. I know he's not a pure point guard, but you know what he's doing? He's coming around. I like, and especially when you're moving the ball. When we're moving the ball and pushing the ball, I mean, that was his type of game in North Carolina. All right, he flourished at North Carolina doing that same thing. So I'm not surprised by those numbers, by the 6 assists or the 9 rebounds, because he's running up and down the court. All right, when you get around the court, when you get around the hoop, good things happen. All right, he pulls up for a 3, someone closes out, and he goes by him, easy lay it in or dishes it off to somebody. I mean, there's a lot of good things. We have young legs. We have a lot of young legs. Use them. And that was the biggest thing that, we saw what happened. We saw when Lonzo Ball was here. We were running up and down the court like it was nobody's business. The best record in the East for a while. And then we stopped running so much because I believe that, DeMar's ball dominant, Zach's ball dominant. They get the ball, and DeMar pound, gets to his spot. Okay, when he's doing that, what's everybody else doing? Nothing. All right, we're just watching. All right. I think, what do you think is going to happen when Zach comes? Because DeMar had 10 assists on Saturday. 10. So he's moving the ball. He's not there. He's not just pounding. He had 24, but 24 and 10? So I'll take that from him all day long.
Well, DeMar's always been a fantastic passer. He proved that when he was with San Antonio, and he's leading the team in assists this year. So he's been fantastic in that aspect of his game. Big picture, there's still so many issues with it. Like what's going to happen with this team going forward, like with Zach LaVine. And it's so disappointing because I'm not sure they're really going to get a great return on him. I don't think you're going to see Zach until the trade deadline on the 15th, when most of the players they can move at that point, and there will be a trade. I think they're actively looking to move Zach. And I still think big picture, this team has really given up a ton of draft assets to get to this point. And we got to look, it's 7-14. It's like, I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like we should be looking to move our big 3 and Vooch too. The thing about Vooch is, like, I do feel there was a trade potentially with Oklahoma City, who's in desperate need for a big. They have a ton of draft assets that we could take in return. And by adding that 3rd-year contract, you've basically really almost removed them from the possible trades, because that team, Oklahoma City, has to pay a lot of their young guys in that year 3, and it's such a big penalty to them to add that 3rd year. So, I want to know the team out there that was willing to give Vucevic at 33 a 3rd year. Just a huge mistake in the Bulls' perspective, because I do feel there's some teams in the West that would look at him as a potential to throw up against Jokic, and unfortunately, it's not going to happen now. We're stuck with him for the next 3 years, and I don't think that's a good thing. Like, I think we need to. What's our ceiling with Vucevic? It's not high. It's where Orlando was, even if he's playing well in his prime. On a declining Vooch, we're not going to really be able to move him for anything of value unless we attach an asset to it.
Vooch has been an enigma for me. There are times where he just dominates. There are times where I'm like, dude, whoa, I love it. This is why we drafted and gave you the whole kitchen, those picks and everything, because and then there's times like, dude, hit a goddamn 4-foot layup. It's your little stupid soft little jump hook, right? Or put one more dribble and dunk it. Create contact. Why do you think he's so erratic? Because he has a big enough body. All right, he can get down low, he can create contact and draw a foul, but he still likes these little jump hooks. Then when they're not hitting, then you got to take one more dribble and get to the hole and create contact. Why do you think he doesn't want to create contact and get 2 free throws or get an and one.
He's just never been that player. He's not athletic enough to fake people out and get to the line at a high volume. Even when he was a primary ball handler, he wasn't getting to the line a ton back in those days. He would like to get to the line. He's a very good free throw shooter. He's been 80 plus for a large part of his career. He's 83% this year. Like, to me, the whole thing with Vooch is, like, again, the reason we acquired him is he was on 6 attempts per game. He was shooting 40 plus. He was a stretch 5 that was exactly perfect for this team. I know you mentioned, hey, when things were looking great when we had, back when Lonzo was healthy. And I think that's a little bit, if you look at the situation, you got to look at the context of where the league was at that point.
There's a lot of fluctuation.
Yeah, in the early part of
Philly.
21, 22. Well, also too, let's look at a few things about the Bulls. Patrick Williams wasn't on that team. He got hurt early in that season. He was out. So we were in first place without Patrick. He wasn't on the team. You look at the East at that time, Boston was an absolute mess.
Yep.
They didn't turn it around until the second half of that
Then they
season.
come after they went deep in the playoffs, and then the prior year, and then everyone's like, what the hell is up with Boston? Then Philly sucked for a while.
Yeah.
Milwaukee was still, because that was right after Milwaukee won a title, and everyone's like, oh, Milwaukee's gonna be great. What the hell's going on with Milwaukee? They were having a championship hangover, so the East was still,
the whole league was a mess at that point. And so,
Yeah.
we always look at, like, well, the Bulls were great with Lonzo Ball. Yeah, that wouldn't be the case today. If you look at Cleveland, they were not a good team at that time. Indiana, Orlando, the whole East is much better than it was in 21, 22. So even if Lonzo was here, I still think our ceiling is probably a first round exit, maybe a second round if we're lucky. So, Lonzo helps because he covers up a lot of our, issues in terms of 3-point shooting, and he's an excellent defender. But, big picture, there's still so many issues with this team. Like, I feel the clear direction needs to be move the big 3, send DeMar to a team that has a chance to win a title, and, put him in a situation to earn that ring, probably to the Lakers or wherever. And then also try to move Vooch and Zach and try to rebuild. And let's go into this season, try to figure out what we have with Patrick Williams, what we have with Kobe, and what we have with Io. And just kind of like, let's start again, rebuild, get draft assets in, and move forward. Caruso should also be able to garner a significant package. In fact, I think he's probably going to garner more than anybody on the team, just because he can help every team, and they're going to all be bidding for him. So you should be able to get a late first rounder, without a doubt, at a minimum, for Caruso. And if you don't, that's a horrible job by the Bulls front office.
But, and guys, we're joined by my guy Fred Pfeiffer, See Red Fred from ChicagoBullsEye.com and the Big Red Bus, talking Bulls basketball here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. But if you so are you okay with getting rid of Caruso? Because if we get rid of Caruso, like, he's the heart and soul of that defense. Like, well, I don't trust that this defense is going to be as effective as they are with him here. I just don't. And if we're not, well, then there's a big issue, because you got rid of offense, and then you're getting rid of well, now we can start getting blown out every more consistently.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Yes, I agree with you. But, like, if we keep him, he's right now, I think he's at his max that he would potentially be at in terms of value. Like, I think Caruso is an incredible role player, but you can really get a mother load for him in terms of trading of assets right now. Due to his contract is so rock solid, he's making about $10 million a year relative to other contracts, and every team that's in challenging for a title needs him. So, yeah, I agree with you. Would have serious negative ramifications on this team. He's probably our best 3-point shooter right now, so, like, yeah, if you trade him, yeah, he actually is. He's shooting close to, 47% from 3. So, but again, there's a ton of value in that. The guy plays defense and he hits threes. Any legit contender, is going to want his services. What are we going to hold him on for? Like, where are we going with him? Like, we're not going to
keep this defense. Well, I say to keep this defensive team sharp. All right. And you're going to have to learn. There's going to be a lot of younger guys, like, the Kobe's, the Ios, are we keeping Craig? I want all these guys to be around him as long as possible, because when it is time for him to move from him, I want them to learn from him. And I'm not saying they're not learning from him now. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I want them around with him as long as possible, because he's going to have to pass the baton to those guys. And I want those guys to be, Kobe's like, what is he, like 22 now? He's been in the league for like 7 years. He's only like 22 years old. Like, Jesus Christ, but it's got to got to come a point in time where he's got to be a leader. There's got to come a point in time when Io, and Io stayed 3 years at Illinois, so he's not as young, but Io's got to become a leader. Like, these guys got to become leaders. I don't know if I think they're ready yet to take that mantle from a Caruso. Caruso's got, man, his basketball IQ, I think you would agree with me, is through the roof. And he's just an unbelievably smart basketball player. And I'm waiting for them to learn some of the, not, I guess, tricks of the trade, but just watch him, be with him as much as possible. That's why I'd want to keep him.
Well, there's no doubt everything you said there's true. He's got incredible basketball IQ. I think he's one of the smartest players that I've seen, in a Bulls uniform. But I think there's other players like that in the team. I think DeMar is an incredibly smart player. And I think a lot of people have learned from him too. Big picture though, again, is these guys have been with Caruso now for a few years. So Io and Kobe, whatever they've learned, I think, I don't think it's going to be.
They got it now.
Yeah, they got it now. Exactly. And you've traded a ton of assets. We don't have a second round pick for a long time. We've traded. We still owe the San Antonio number 1 pick in the DeMar DeRozan trade. So like we've lost a lot of assets that we need to replenish. And Caruso, according to most objective viewers, will return the most in a trade. So like, I agree with you. It's going to have serious ramifications, but I think it's a positive in that will give us a higher draft pick this year, which we do own. We need to hit on that. And then also it's going to return a number of assets that we can hopefully use to get better because the Bulls right now in the situation that they're in, their best player, in my opinion, in terms of ceiling is Kobe White. He's 23 years old. He's on a good contract, but he's not good enough to carry a team. Like, we need to get an influx of talent in here. Young talent that we just don't have right now. So we have these aged veterans, and I would consider Caruso to be a veteran, especially since he plays so hard. He plays at a level that I think often leads to injury. What are we doing? Like, I kind of feel like where's the ceiling with this team if we kept it intact? This year, we're probably not even going to make the playoffs. Last year, I can't believe we didn't start this earlier, to be honest with you. The reason the Bulls are not good right now, to me, unequivocally are two things. Number one, Patrick Williams did not take the jump that they expected in year 4. He's having a terrible year overall. He's played better as of recently, but he's still shooting 31% from the 3-point line, which was his strength before. He's still only rebounding less than 4 per game. So he has not become the power forward that they hoped. Number one. And number two, Vooch's disintegration as a 3-point shooter has just been poison for the offense. And he's no longer a stretch 5. He's a constrict 5, and he can't protect the paint. So that combination in your center is deadly. Like, you got to have one or the other. You got to have a guy that can protect the rim, be a rim defender, or be a stretch 5 and stretch the court. He does neither now. So this is a bad situation. Like, if Caruso doesn't hit that 3 against Milwaukee played terrible in that game, I thought. We lose that game. Saturday, Pelicans, that's a good team that had won a lot of games in a row, but they were on their third game in 4 nights back to back. So it was a good win, but it took just incredible effort from Kobe White. So I still look at this picture, looking at this team big picture. There's a lot of work we got to do, and I think it starts with a rebuild. Hate to say it.
Great stuff, Fred. We got to let you go, Papa. I got to hop off, but hey, do me a favor before you go. Let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Absolutely. You can find me. It's at the Big Red Bus is the podcast. Go search for Big Red Bus Bulls on the Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, and then also ChicagoBullseye.com. And also I appreciate our sponsors over at C Red Threads. It's CSEE Red Threads. They've done a great job with us, so really enjoy their work. So thanks a lot, Shawn. Awesome seeing you, buddy.
Likewise, man. Likewise, and hopefully we can stretch it to 3 games.
That sounds good, man. Let's do it. All right,
I will be in touch soon, bro. Thank you.
Have a good one.
All righty. Guys, that's Fred Pfeiffer from Big Red Bus. And we got to bounce. I got to go pick up the warden from CrossFit class. So, guys, listen, have a phenomenal day. We're going to replay this today at 4 o'clock, 12:15. We have Second City Sports with Lakina McGee and Sydney Brown. They're coming up on in, and 6 o'clock tonight. We also have What's Up, Cuz with Jason Palmer and the coach himself, Lance C. Irvin. Guys, enjoy it. It's going to be a nice week this week. This weekend it's going to be warm, very warm this week. Woo, Charlie. 50s. I love it. Barelissimo, thanks for checking in, Papa, from across the pond. I appreciate it. AC Adam jumped in. I appreciate it. Brian Hendren in there. Man, I love it. I love it. I love it. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, I'll be back. Well, we're going to be back. We're going to replay this later, but I'll be back on Wednesday. Excuse me, same bad time on 9 a.m. to 11 Central Standard Time. So, for everybody here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, you have a phenomenal day. I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra, and you know what? I am out.